Of course, it's time for another session. Let's talk sex. I am Maureen Minter for those of you who are just watching of the Healthy Living Herbal Clinic. We have been for the past few weeks just talk sex. Basically information about care of the male organ so that he can always maintain his erection, and that's very important in today's world. Last week, however, most of our viewers were not had other issues that they thought were more important, so they asked questions related to high blood pressure, diabetes, fibroids, and the whole works, and that's okay as well. So for those of you who are joining us, welcome to Let's Talk Sex. Of course, we are anticipating that there are going to be persons with their own personal issues that they want to get answers to. This is also an opportunity to ask me all the questions that you want to ask. Remember that we are working with a limited time, 15 minutes, for you to ask me your questions and then for me to be able to address it so that I can continue on the business of keeping you healthy. So now is it business of keeping you informed. All right, for this afternoon, basically what I have prepared to talk about is a summary of the cases that we have gotten this week. So this week we got a lot of mental cases. Lots of persons, schizophrenic, seizures, sleep ring disorders, anxiety. Yes, lots of those. For some reason, we are increasing in the cases. I'm not sure why, but a few of the persons, it had to do with their diet. So of course, if we are not eating well, we're going to have nerve-related issues, schizophrenic, seizures, sleeping disorders, yes, all of them. But the greatest part of it is that these can all be corrected by the use of herbs. God created herbs to heal us of all our diseases. Now, the challenge with healing many of these mental disorders is a time factor. Because most of these ailments are related to the nerves, and the nerves is involved in every activity. Wake and sleep activity. If you bat the eye, it's your nerves. If you think, it's your nerves. If you move about, it's your nerves. So you can just imagine how important the nerves is. And if it is always being used and overused or abused, then it is always in need of help. So you'll realize, most of you who are on our treatment, you'll realize that we always send something for the nervous system, irrespective of what you're being treated for. Especially for persons who are being treated with herpes. The herpes virus, one of the main things it does once it gets into the bloodstream, it starts attacking the nervous system. So it travels to central and peripheral, or to the main core of your nervous system, and start destroying it. And then it finds its ways to the other peripherals, of the nervous system. And then it does this thing. Of course, when it wants to get out of the body, again, it travels through the nervous system. And this is why it causes all those pains that it does. Travels to the skin, to the nervous system. So you can understand how important the nervous system is. And essentially, why we, in treating persons for all types of ailments, including herpes, we must treat the nervous system. So the nervous system is highly involved in our daily activities. And some of the foods that we need to include in our care for the nervous system, you need to have a lot of fruits. Why fruits for the nervous system? Because the nervous system is very much alive and very much active, and it needs energy to move about. And that is where the sugar and the starch comes in to assist in the movement of it. If you realize, if your iron level is low, if your sugar level is low, you'll realize that you don't have enough energy. You don't feel, you get numbness, you feel dizzy, all of that. nerve related and nerve impulses and nerve messages. And for that reason, it's so important for you to maintain the dietary part. So in the mornings when you wake up, in care of your nervous system, just make sure you have some fruits and have something heavy, because the nerves need food. Yes. So you make sure you have something sensible. This is why, you know, they say eat like a king in the morning. And a king does not necessarily mean meat. Meat is not one of the best things for the nervous system, especially in the early mornings. So what it really means is, you know, Jamaicans, we have porridge in the morning. So you have your teas, your fruits, you have porridge, and then you can add maybe a little steamed callaloo, a few fingers of boiled banana, depending on the size of your tummy now, you know. And then always remember to give it liquids. So whether fruit juice, water, just pump in the liquids, because the nervous system swims around in fluids. So it always has to have fluids in the body. Once you become dehydrated, again, you'll realize that there's an escalation in nerve-related issues. And for the lunchtime, you know, again, you do your water and your liquid, and then you do your vegetables and your vegetable juices. Make sure the iron-rich foods are in it, because the nervous system, again, needs iron. Yes. So you make sure that you are eating and drinking your vegetable juices. And we generally say whatever you have for lunch, you can also have for dinner. And the soup is an excellent thing. Soup, Jamaicans and soup. I'm not sure what other persons call it around the world, but soup is excellent. What happens is that you can throw everything in the soup. You can put your yams, your cocoa, your dashings, coconut milk, your callaloo, carrot, okra, everything can be thrown into the soup. So therefore, the nervous system will search for what it needs, because sometimes it can be a little protein too that is missing, the sugar can be missing, other minerals and vitamins can be missing. So soup is excellent, because when you throw your peas, your beans, every little thing into the pot and give it to the body fishes around, searches for what it wants, finds it, fixes the problem. Again, fixing the nervous system is not an overnight issue. It's a very serious issue. It is so serious that as I age, I realize that so many of us that appear to be normal might not be normal. Irrespective of the positions or what jobs you might hold, many of us are truly not normal, and because our nervous systems are overworked and have not been fed properly. Now, if you realize that you're having nerve-related issues, some of the best things to do is to use herbs. Very rarely will your food correct the problem. It will maintain a healthy nervous system, but it will not correct it. You need to find herbs. Some people might find remedy in vervine, soursop. You need to search around for the herb that your body actually needs. And the greatest thing is that the Most High knew that He has created many. There are so many herbs that are excellent for fixing the nervous system. Of course, there are some herbs that you can take every day. There are some tonic herbs that you might want to put yourself on periods of 9 days, 3 months, a little longer, depending on the issues that you're having. I don't know if there are questions, Eugene. I saw you raise the thing.
Oh, yes, there are some
There were
questions.
questions. All right, just give me a few minutes before I address the question. I just want to do a little bit about sleeping disorders.
So persons can go ahead and share then, so that other persons can learn as well.
Yes, it's excellent time now to click share these videos so other persons could join in and hear some of this information, because there are so many persons who are having sleeping issues. All right, sleeping issues doesn't just rarely jumps in overnight unless there's some trauma that causes it. But very often, sleeping issues start by one night, no sleep, 2 nights, no sleep, a week, 3, right? I've seen persons up to 7 years, they've not been able to get a good night's sleep. All right, how do we correct it? There are a few things that are important to night sleep. And I know you might have heard about the rhythms, the circadian rhythm, the different rhythms, hormone rhythms that actually govern your wake and your sleep hours. Now, you have to maintain that pattern. Just like the rooster, the cocks, and many of the other animals, when it gets to night, they go to bed. You have to create a pattern for your nervous system to actually heal itself if you're having sleeping issues. Some of the things that you have to learn to avoid is a light at night. Right. Sounds like I'm rhyming there, right? Light at night. Right. So at night, turn off the lights. As best as possible, turn off all the lights. And if you have clear lights in your house at night, sometimes you should change the color of your lights to blue, green, or green, because those communicate more calming results to your nervous system. And one of these days, we're going to be looking at lights, the different lights, whether day or night, or the different colors, and the impact it has on your emotions, on your mood, on your person, and more so even on your sex life. So at nights, turn off the lights. Try and drink some water. Anything that it takes to calm the body. You want to use plain water, you want to use mint, because mint is calming. The smell of mint is calming. Even cinnamon is calming. But the difference with cinnamon and nutmeg is that it is excitatory. So therefore, those are better to use in the mornings rather than at nights. So you use the mint and help me with some others, fever grass, that are aromatherapeutic. So these have smells and odors that will send calming, healing messages to your nervous system. Sometimes the music that you listen to, create a pattern of listening to good gospel. It takes your mind from the physical plane to the spiritual plane, where really you will get loads of healing energy from the Most High. And your thoughts, if you could make it a habit to think pure thoughts. Practice to repeat Psalms over and over. Practice to think healing thoughts, forgiving thoughts. If you make it a habit, then it makes sleeping much easier. Now, one of the things that we have to realize is that the nervous system, and this is my final talk on the nervous system before giving you an opportunity to voice your concerns or interests. But one of the things that I'm going to tell you about the nervous system is that your nervous system is the medium through which God, Yahweh, the Creator, communicates to you. And it is also the medium through which Satan communicates. So very often there is a competition between both for the same nervous system. It is what sends the messages to the brain or the heart, or all of it. It's the same medium. Terminologies might differ. To get to about the importance of protecting this medium from good or evil is that very often when we start having issues with our nervous system, we will realize that we tend to go more to the negative side, especially in these last days, and I'm going to explain a little bit. Okay. All right. So I am told that I am not to give this information presently because, you know, sometimes different people listen to me for different reasons. And someone logged in that should not hear what I'm going to say. And so I'm going to give you an opportunity to ask me your questions now. And then I'm going to deal with it and I'm going to answer. What are the questions that we have to face?
There's a person saying, where are you located?
Okay. We are in beautiful Jamaica, Montego Bay, if you're asking and you're already in Jamaica. We're in Montego Bay, Jamaica, basically, yes. We have 2 different locations in Montego Bay. We have one on Barney Street, 18 Barney Street, and there's another one in the plaza at Hotel Gloria.
It's a person that says, do you do one-on-one consultation?
Definitely, we do one-on-one consultations. Very often, we are, you know, but we do one-on-one consultations.
When I give them how do you do it? Through the phone, or when I give them a number or something?
Okay, if you are overseas and you have a unique situation that you think that I am the best person to address that issue, then you can call either the 771 or that's 876-771-1011, 876-771-1011, or the 420, which is 876-420-0173. Either of the numbers at various times during the day, you'll be able to find me. You can also use WhatsApp, text me a message, and we'll set an appointment time where I
can text right here on TikTok. Send us a message here on TikTok as well.
Yes, you could use well, the best medium is WhatsApp, a straight call, or WhatsApp. Persons use email and they'll use Instagram. Majority of the persons use Instagram and emails, and some persons will inbox right here at TikTok. All of these work, but it's a team of us that work. So sometimes, to avoid you being overlooked, make a straight call, a WhatsApp call, or send us a message in WhatsApp. Very often, those are the most effective ways to get messages out to us.
Person is saying, they're asking how can they contact you. So I think we answered that one. And this person is saying is Oregon used for fibroids.
Oregano?
Yeah, Oregon, I think they want to say, but it says Oregon.
Okay. If it's oregano, what we call here in Jamaica, Chinese time, if that's the same, is it used for fibroids? Alright, fibroids is a very complicated ailment. It is womb related. And, you know, the womb is so important. It has the toughest muscles in the world. The womb has the toughest muscle in the human body, both male and female. They say, you know, I'm just quoting what they say. And its elasticity and the strength and everything. So the womb is a very complicated organ to repair. Unfortunately, it is exposed to so much. Because, you know, during sexual intercourse, it is exposed to so much. It gets so much beat up with the male penis, of course. And the food that is needed to maintain the womb, very often many of us do not know. So many of us, we will eat the preserved foods, because we spoke a lot about that last week. Foods with preservatives, the sugary stuff, all of those things are negative food for the womb. And then for those of you who might study Chinese or Indian medicine, you'll hear them talk about the chakra. And the chakra right under the, I'm going to say the seat between the vagina and the anus is where the woman would call her, I'm using our African terminology, we would call it your kakarot. So when we talk about not the kakarot, it's not just the men alone who must protect their kakarot. We talk about kaki and kakarot mostly for men because of how important it is for them. But women also must protect their kakarot, and that's where it is. And so oftentimes it becomes so abused because during sexual intercourse, it's always been hit at. So, you know, women, we no longer do the rubber dub with sex anymore. We take care of the vagina and take care of the penis. And so we make a rubber dub with sessions. No, everybody, we have to bang and bang and bang without understanding that there are nerve endings, very, very important nerve endings. Your number one chakra, that's where they say it is. And to be truthful, as important as the nerves and the in the head is, so is the nerve in the kakarot. And so you must know what foods to eat and how to protect it to keep it healthy enough so that it is able to give you good sleep. Because when the kakarot starts to give trouble, sometimes a lot of persons with sleeping issues, it's because the nerve endings in the kakarot need stabilizing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
have we done the 15 minutes?
Well, yeah, but I have a few questions here. I don't want to cut them, man. Let's do some of the questions. All right. So this person is saying, can you really get rid of sinusitis?
Can we
get rid of it? Or tell me how, or can you really get rid of? Tell me how you can really get rid of sinusitis.
All right. So sinuses. Did everybody know you have sinus? Right here in the nostrils, right up here so somewhere, and you have different sinuses over the head area, right? Different things can affect it. Some of us we can inherit a weak sinus system. So maybe your mother had asthma, bronchitis, other respiratory ailments, and you have inherited it.
Yeah.
But some of us, it's our diet though. We eat too much sweet stuff. We don't take in enough fruits and vegetables, not enough live food to keep the body healthy. Some of the best foods that we like to talk about when it comes to the sinus is citrus. And one of my favorite, I have two favorite herbs for the sinuses. But I'm going to tell you the second favorite, which is guava leaf. So for many persons, you know, that's one that you can use a whole lot. But how do we at Healthy Living Herbal Clinic actually correct the sinuses? We give it a total body cleanse. So we clean up the body.
Yeah, start with cleansing.
And then we give you things to rebuild back the sinuses. So things that are excellent. So we have our immune builder, the immune booster. And of course, we assess your diet and we help to make dietary changes to correct it. And quickly, I mean, sinus issues is not a big, 2 weeks, very often, to a month is the longest that it should take to correct sinus issues. Next question.
Kidneys, and how do you help to flush? And how to flush your kidney?
I'm sorry?
And how to flush your kidney. That's what it says.
So kidney issues.
Yeah.
That's a biggie. I've not seen much of it for the past few months. But kidneys, the greatest thing is that the Most High created herbs for the kidneys. Lots of you will hear me talk a lot about dandelion and its importance with the kidneys. But you will always hear me emphasize that there is no single herb to cure any disease. The entire body works together. And so very often it's important for you to have an understanding as to which systems support which systems of the body and how to fix it. So when it comes down to the kidneys, water. Very often many of us are very dehydrated. We're exposed to the natural heat from the sun. We eat foods that are mostly cooked, so it's not alive. It's not like your melon that is up to about 70-80% water. We eat cooked food where most of the water is already gone out of it. We don't drink enough juices or healthy juices. we might drink a lot of soda, and they generally say if you drink 1 bottle of soda, you need 16 bottles of water to actually dilute the amount of soda that you drink. Then there's the alcohol a person's use and the smoking. And so very often many of us, our bodies are running depleted of water. And then of course we know these are different times where there's a lot of radiation that is mopping up the moisture from around us. And because of that, we're actually running in a dehydrated realm. So water for me would be one of the best ways to tell you to keep the kidneys flushed. And then what's your salt intake, because salt will create a different balance with your water inside the kidneys. So what's your salt intake a whole lot. And then of course meat, because remember the uric acid, after it is digested from the liver, comes back into the kidney and can create a whole world of issues. So taking the kidney serious, paying attention to all these important factors are important in maintaining healthy kidneys.
Alright, they say, what for poison? Like if someone is poisoned.
If someone is poisoned, that's a very good question, but because there are so many things that can poison us, there are different things that persons can actually use to alleviate poisons. Sometimes you might easily just jump and say charcoal is probably not a bad thing, but then you would need a little bit more information about the kind of poison, and if you give it to us here, maybe we'll be able to address and tell you what other things could be added.
Alright, so there's this person is saying they met into an accident and got a damaged spinal cord.
No, lift your voice a little.
They met into an accident, have a damaged spinal cord. If there's anything that can be done to help. And they have bed sores. They have bed sores.
Bed sores. So let me start at the bed sores. Some of the best things for the bed sores is the cassava starch. Keep sprinkling cassava starch on it, and it does wonders. Addressing now the spinal cord from the accident would need more information, such as how long was the accident, how long have you been in this position, and it sounds like it must have been for quite a while because you are having bed sores. But I still see that because I was paralyzed, completely paralyzed for about a year, I had to use a lot of herbs for the nervous system. I don't want to take anything away from what God has done, because my walking was a miracle. God actually spoke it into being and told me to get up and walk. But after walking and even maintaining my spine today is a lot to do with eating foods for my nervous system, maintaining nervous system, and tonic foods. Eugene always talks a lot about the Maasai roots, and the Maasai roots that we always market or is something that has been very instrumental in giving energy to my body and to many persons. It's just a miraculous gift that the Most High has given to us here in Jamaica. It really does wonders in strengthening the body. For persons who say, boy, I go to sleep and I wake, but I still feel tired, the Maasai roots would really cut the wonders in correcting that. Women who might say, oh, I'm having period issues, losing too much blood and I'm feeling weak, or I need to go on, the Maasai roots will correct a lot of those issues. Simple, all by itself, would correct a lot of those issues. Chatting too much. What's the next question?
Alright, this person says, I want to get pregnant.
You want to get pregnant?
Not me, this person.
Alright, so there's a female, I'm assuming,
yes,
that wants to get pregnant.
Must be.
And she's having challenges. We're not sure if it's fibroids or cysts or endometriosis. We're not sure if
She's gotten pregnant, but she's losing it, having ectopic pregnancy.
So we need some more information.
Yeah, so it sounds like we're going to need a little bit more information, my sister, in order to guide you. But, you know, fertility is a delicate issue, but we realize that it is more common. I am realizing now that fertility issues are far more common than I thought they were. And the truth is, very often they're not difficult to correct. God, Yahweh, created herbs to easily just clean the womb and to reprogram the womb to function normally. It's really not that difficult. 2 weeks to a month very often corrects most of the fertility issues, unless there are fibroids or cysts, endometriosis. But other than that, there are many of the other you know, miscarriages and all. 2 weeks
3
very
months.
often to a month covers most of those.
Alright, this person says, if you know how to get rid of internal cysts.
Internal cysts is pretty much the same as getting rid of fibroids or cysts, because the Most High just created the herbs. This is not what we do. So let me just throw back the credit where it really belongs. The Most High create herbs that breaks up growth on the inside, irrespective of the kind of growth, whether it is fibroids, cancer, cysts, it breaks them up. So all that we do, we apply cleansing herbs and some herbs for the immune system, and then the herbs that break up fibroids or cysts, wherever they are, if it's in the kidneys, the liver, and it just does what it is supposed to do.
Alright, so there are a few persons asking the same question. How can I get your products? Do you ship?
Okay, so for persons overseas, yes, we ship every day. We do have challenges sometimes, you know, sometimes customs, like last month, 2 weeks. So sometimes we might tell you that it takes 3 to 14 days for shipment. And then when some of you might call and say, Miss Minter, the 14 days have gone. And then I said, please just bear with us a little bit. Some of it is outside of our control. Because, you know, customs have to do what they have to do. They have to ensure, because this is herbs, and herbs can mean herbs and different types of herbs. And so they have to evaluate to make sure that medicinal herbs that we're actually sending to our clients overseas. And so sometimes it takes a little while longer. Very rarely it does, but occasionally we do have it. Yeah, we do. We have a wide family overseas that need help, and we have to, for those of you to do with the herpes treatment, we have to limit persons that we allow a certain number of persons in, because remember that we're a small nucleus trying to achieve big things for a big world, and so in order to not allow ourselves to become flabbergasted or the team to become worn out, in some of the health issues we've had to you know, do a time management factor to be able to facilitate everybody. But so far we give thanks, it's going smoothly. Yes.
Alright, this person says, do you come to Kingston?
I'm thankful that you asked that one. I told everybody that tomorrow would have been the Kingston day, tomorrow Thursday. I'm so wrong. Eugene corrected me. Actually, next week Thursday is the Kingston day. And as I tell most persons, I am aging, and would like it if you make use of the systems that are available. So for persons who are in Kingston, it is easy if you make a phone call, tell us what is wrong with you, make the lodgement, and then let us send the treatment to you. Sometimes it's a lot on me to take the journey to Kingston and back. Sometimes I lose up to 3 days because it is so tiresome. You go to Kingston and the cases are many, and those of you who have been to our sessions understand that it is a lot physically, mentally, and spiritually. And so sometimes when I come back to Montego Bay, I am set back 2, 3 days, 4 days to regain my energy in order to be able to function. And so we do encourage persons in Kingston, please do help me out. Make the phone call, tell us what's wrong with you, and allow us to make the shipment to you, because it will give me an opportunity to serve the world better than having to be out of commission, out of ability to work for a few days, and then I have to be catching up when I'm back to myself again. So help me out sometimes.
All right, so this person says, what can I use for them fibroids?
For fibroids. All right, can we say that, can you just quickly look to see if there's any, because we have addressed fibroids earlier.
You said cis, it wasn't fibroids directly.
This is fibroids?
Yes.
All right, can you look though and see if there are any other more, all questions are important.
Yes.
All right, so let's look at the fibroids, and then this is the last one that we're doing?
Yeah, several. You want to cut? All right, go ahead. We're going to do 2 more. Just 2 more and then...
2 more?
Yeah.
Okay, fibroids. What would I do for fibroids? The first thing that I would say about fibroids, be careful of hormone foods. Fibroids are hormone-related ailments. In the early stage of us learning about fibroids as healers, because you have to remember that the fibroids is not something that existed much before before, I'm going to say my grandmother, it didn't exist as much as it does today. But today, everything you eat has so much chemicals in it. The very vegetables have chemicals, and all the meats that you eat have hormones pumped into it. And because of that, when your body receives it, it will encourage growth inside the womb. And then of course last week we spoke about even the hair dyes and chemicals that seeps into the bloodstream and go right to the womb and communicates growth again to the womb. So in correcting fibroids, some of the main things that we have to do is the elimination process. Persons with fibroids might have a lot of abdominal fat. And if you get rid of the abdominal fat, that's another stage. So you need bitter herbs there to get rid of the abdominal fat. There are herbs that actually breaks up the fibroids. And so persons ask, how do you know? And how do you know if you're losing the fibroids? You won't see anything miraculous or dynamic, which rarely persons do see. Very often the fibroids are broken up, goes back into the bloodstream and comes out through the anus. My favorite herb that I always talk about for hormones.
All right, so there's another one that says, can you tell me what you do when your back hurts?
Can I tell?
Can you tell me what to do when your back hurts you?
Oh, for back pains. Back pains, there's a hot and cold treatment that I like for back pain. And you just lie on the bed, and then for 6 minutes you apply heat, and then for another 6 minutes you apply cold. Very often that sends blood in and out of the body, and you actually get an immediate relief from backache. Now backache is a very it is something that demands immediate and urgent attention, because the back holds, I'm going to say, all your nervous system, right? So if the back, your spinal cord, controls all your nervous system, right? I'm going to say that I'm speaking antiquatedly now. So if your central and your peripheral nervous system, they meet there in the spine. And so when you really have a backache, it commands your attention to pay it mind. Now, there are many things that you can do for maintenance of the back. You know, like I talk a lot about the tuna and the coconut water, that's for maintenance. Now, when it comes on to repair, it takes professional advice. So you have to take a few things into consideration. Is it an injury? Is it the diet? Is it stress? Even fibroids? Is it a colon issue? So posture, sleeping, you know, so there's a few things that you take into consideration when it comes on to backache. This week I was explaining to a young girl how the womb could actually create even pain, backaches. So once you take all of those into consideration, then you are able to select the correct herbs for the repair.
Alright, this person is saying, I have excruciating pain when I'm on my menstrual cycle. The pain feels like I am going through labor.
Alright, that one is very easy to correct. Again, the most I created herbs which really easily corrects that. The only thing is that it's a time factor. This means that the hormones are off and they communicating the wrong messages to the muscles inside the womb. And so one of the things that you have to do, you have to be on herbs for hormones, as well as you've got to be able to take herbs for the muscles in the womb to kind of cause back the relaxation so that you don't have that. But that one is a very easy one. It says that you have to take it, we encourage that you take it for 2 or 3 period cycles. So that we're sure that it is fixed. And very often once it is fixed, it's fixed.
So you have the herbs that can do that, right?
Yes, we do have a lot of hormone herbs that easily fixes it.
I said we were going to take 2 more questions.
Yes.
I think that's the 2.
That's the final 2. Just quickly glance over a few of the questions and see if there's anything that is unique.
Make sure.
Or anything like that. Anything else?
Alright.
That's unique. That maybe anything? No?
Alright, let's do this one. This last one. I'm just gonna do this last one for this person. Alright. How to maintain your pH balance?
Okay, how do you maintain what's the pH balance?
The pH in the vaginal pH.
That's so we want to differentiate now. When we
Vaginal
talk about pH balance, the pH balance could be in the blood or in the vagina. You know, you can have some persons say, I'm on an alkaline diet. And so that's because they want to maintain their pH level as well. Women now who have yeast infection very often also are concerned about their pH balance. Now, if this question is being asked by a female who is having issues with vaginal discharge, all those issues, infections, odors and all of that. If you're having those issues, then what you need to do, you need to contact us because each case might be a little bit different. It might not necessarily be a pH issue. You could really have been exposed to some microorganism or fungus, bacteria, or virus that you need to get rid of to correct the issue. It could be your diet. Sometimes, again, it comes back to this sweet tooth thing where the body is off because of the sugar content, and therefore it makes, yeast likes, cocoa bread. We say in Jamaica, we talk about cocoa bread, and every cocoa bread must have yeast, and it must, and yeast like sugar, starch. So the truth is that the cocoa bread, the vagina, the vulva, that woman part, different persons might be accustomed to different terminologies. But yeast is a natural part of the vagina, really natural. It has to be there. But sometimes there can be an overgrowth, And this overgrowth could be due to the type of underwear that you're wearing, meaning that it is not cotton, it doesn't allow breathing. It could be, like we said, exposure to some microorganisms. It could be the diet. It could be what else? I'm just quickly trying to wrap off a few of the primary factors that could actually cause the woman to be having a pH. So I'm tilting it now and saying yes, if that's the type of pH issue that we're handling. You might need professional advice, and if you give us an opportunity to assess it for you and choose the right herbs from the wide variety of herbs that exist to help you to correct it. And very often this is something that is corrected within 2 weeks to a month. It's not a big issue.
You want to do one more? Do you want to do one more?
Okay, one more.
Alright. So this person says, I have a problem standing long on my foot. My foot's swollen. What can I take?
Alright. Are you overweight?
We'd have to find out a few more things.
No,
we didn't get a reply for that one. So we'd have to find out a few more things then in order to know what to do for that one.
It could be that you're overweight. It could be that the kidneys need more help. It could be the diet need restructuring, so that some of those issues can be resolved. But it is something that we can fix, and there are herbs that does wonders in improving circulation, because what is happening in a case like that is that the blood goes down to the foot, and for some reason the muscles in the foot is not sufficient to proper assessment of the whole situation in order to advise you aidly.
You want to do one more? That's it.
One more?
That's
okay,
it.
one more. Let's go. One more.
Do one more. This is the last one.
Last single. No more. After this one, last one. No more. Who's saying in Jamaica? Single one. The only one. The last one.
What can I take for diabetes?
Okay, what can you take for diabetes? I don't know of anything anywhere else in the entire world or anybody else who can vow and say that God has given to you herbs for the healing, and that within 3 months of using these herbs, you are free of diabetes. We have been doing this for the past 30 years, and we have been getting the same results. We have gathered herbs. There's no single herb. We hear your history, we gather the herbs together, and then give you the herbs. We guide you with your diet for the 3 months, and after 3 months you're free of diabetes. It can't be any easier than that. Diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer, fibroids, prostate enlargement. 3 months, simply 3 months for the majority of these, and you're free of it. But it takes professional guidance. It's not something that I would say to you, go take that bitter herb for diabetes. Go take some medicine. Go take some. No, it's not as simple as that. And this is the reason why some persons become disillusioned when it comes on to herbs, because they will watch something that says, oh, this herbs will fix your diabetes, this one will fix your high, and then they try it and it doesn't happen. Many times it is not that these herbs are not good for diabetes, but by themselves they need supporting herbs to actually create what it is supposed to do. So give us, the professionals, an opportunity to help you to get well in 3 months. All right, take care. See you all next week Wednesday while we chat again about your health. And if we missed your questions, please forgive us. You can always continue the conversation after this, asking us on any of the videos about your health concern, as well as you can call us, WhatsApp us, inbox us as we continue to serve you. Thank you.
Blessings.
Blessings.
Thanks.